Hello, and welcome to the Live Past Crazy Show. Your host is Yanmitra Jojo Waddell, the only Live Past Crazy specialist. So what better place to be than here with her? Yanmitra appreciates you taking the time out to listen to the podcast, and it is her sincere hope that what we share is something that you can use to help you and someone you know live past crazy.
Good morning, guys. Let me sit right. Yesterday, Facebook took the worst picture of me. Good morning, guys. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show. We're having confessions and conversations about your everyday life. My name is Yanmitra Jojo Waddell, the only Live Past Crazy specialist, so what better place to be than here with me. I hope you guys are ready to get this day started. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is going to be a good day. It's going to be a great day. It is Friday. You are alive and well. And there you go. If you enjoyed the show, please make sure that you share it, because sharing is caring. If your friends and family don't have Facebook, send them over to the YouTube channel so they can binge watch. So yesterday, if you missed the show yesterday, y'all, we talked about you are a small business owner. Okay? You, Waddell Consulting Services, you are a small business owner, and what that means to you. So this is day 2, part 2. So yesterday, you are a small business owner. You have 8 departments. Good morning. Good morning, Miss Cree. So you have 8 departments, right? There's 8 departments to your small business, and we talked about 4 of them yesterday. Your relationships, your mental, your emotional, and your physical. So I hope you took notes yesterday. I hope you're taking some today, because we're going to go over the second part of you being a small business owner. Okay? You are a small business owner, part 2. And I hope you took notes yesterday, because we got it all together. We talked about we don't want to be a Walmart. We don't want to roll back the prices. We're not wearing the yellow shirts. We're not self-checking out. We are Chick-fil-A. We are an entire experience. And people are willing to pay for the entire experience of you. So let's talk about small business. You are a small business, part 2. Y'all, I'm going to drink some water because my throat is angry. I tried my best not to get sick, but I don't know if it's working. All right, so here's the Fearless quote of the day. Don't be in such a hurry to condemn a person because he doesn't do what you do or think as you think. There was a time when you didn't know what you know today, and that is by Malcolm X, my brother. That book changed my whole world in high school. If you've never read that book, please go read it. It'll change your life. This quote is something I had to work through a long time ago. Don't be in a hurry to, let me tell you, there's a quote in one of Rosie's favorite songs, and it says, church is where I found God, but it's also where I learned to judge. And how many of us Christians judge folk all the time about everything in church, from what they wear, how they look, their lifestyle? We judging people, but at one point, perhaps at any point of their life, that could have been us. And we didn't know then what we know now. Don't be in a hurry to condemn a person because he doesn't do what you do or think as you think. There was a time when you didn't know what you know today. And I had to, that thinking part, y'all, because I like people to be quick on the uptake. And so that was a part I had to grow through, like not condemning people because they didn't think like I thought. or they didn't pick it up with the quickness like I did. So that's something JoJo had to work through. So that quote comes from Malcolm X. All right, so let's get right into your small business part 2. We got 4 more things. And yeah, this is when I talked about relationships yesterday. Yes, I broke relationships down, and today we're going to talk about 2 of those relationships, friends and family. So the 4 departments we talking about today: friends, family, financial, and health. Boo. So in the 8 departments of your small business of you, these are your last 4: friends, family, financial, and health. Please understand your friends. Let's go with friends first. And I'm only telling you what I know from my experience, okay? We are going to say confessions and conversations from JoJo, okay? That your friends can absolutely dictate how you carry out things in your life. Now, you can say, no, they don't, but they absolutely do. Your friends can absolutely dictate how you carry out things in your life. Your friends, especially, we talk about being on different levels, right? We talk about everybody, we're not condemning them for their journey. And so in not condemning them, we also have to be very understanding that they may not see what we see, talk like we talk, or want to do the things that we want to do. So the first up is friends. Your friends can either hinder or help you. You are the deciding factor in that, okay? Take a minute and look at your conversations with your friends. Like as we are healing our conversation with ourselves, we are then have to be mindful of the conversations that people bring to us, okay? Because you got your negative Nellies, your Debbie Downers, and sometimes, let's do friends and family together, okay? Let's do those 2 departments together. Sometimes your family can hinder, not help you in your growth. Now remember, your family can only love you to their faith level, not your own faith level. So, friends and family. Good morning, ma'am. How you doing, Miss Leah? So your friends and family department need to be gone through, and don't apologize for looking at your friends and family department. We are being articulate, and we are being intentional, and we are thoroughly communicating to each department of our business. Waddell Consulting Services, I'm now in the friends department. I need to make sure I am articulating correctly what it is that I need so that there is no misunderstanding, okay? Your friends can help you or they can hinder you. There's a difference between growing together and somebody not wanting to grow and you pulling them by their neck along the way. And guess what happens when you pull people by the neck along the way? It slows you down, because guess where all your energy just went? Pulling them along the way. And sometimes, boo, it is not their way to go. It is not their journey to take. So when you're looking at your friends department, let's go down the list. Now, there are 7 rules to being a purpose partner, just like there are to being friends, right? Good morning, Kiva. And one of the rules to being a purpose partner is I'm giving what I expect to get. So every purpose partner I have, if I am giving something to them, I am expecting the same thing back. If they're giving to me, they have every right to expect the same thing back. And the same with friendship. So you need to take a look at me and some friends were talking about this the other day. I've been friends with people for so long that, you know, the friendship was there. But then when I went through my friendship department and I realized I was the only person that was keeping in contact to keep the friendship alive, like they wasn't checking for me at all. Like if I didn't call them or if I didn't reach out to them, they were not checking for me. They just were not. And to be honest, sometimes when I call them, like, hey, girl, I got some friends where we really don't talk to each other like that. And we pick up the phone, and it's like we never left. But then there's some friends, I was trying to be their friend when they made it very clear they didn't want to be my friend. And so when I'm calling them, hey, girl, how you doing? Let me tell you what's going on with me. And I'm the type of person where I want to share my good news. First of all, they weren't even happy to hear from me. And number 2, when I'm trying to share my good news, this is how, let me put you up on some, as the kids say, let me put you up on some game. This is how you know they're not interested. This That's how you know they don't really care. They're not checking for you. When you tell them some good news or you call them and you want to have a conversation, and this is their end of a conversation. Oh, yeah? Well, wow. Oh my God. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. Girl, I knew you would. Mm-hmm. And they don't have any other meat conversations with you, but they got those random, yeah, they not checking for you, boo. They just not. Learn that lesson from JoJo, okay? I had to learn that lesson the hard way. They not checking for you. So in your friends department today, take a look at your mutual relationships with your friends. Are you giving what you're asking? Are you receiving what you're giving? And it goes both ways. It takes a mutual respect for a friendship to work. And sometimes what I did, because, I wasn't grown enough to address the issue. I just didn't call the person anymore because I felt like they weren't reaching out to me, so let me just drop what I'm doing because it doesn't seem to matter. And nobody's feelings was hurt. I think they might have been secretly relieved because they didn't have to pretend to like me anymore. Isn't that crazy? So check your friends department today. So let's move down to your family department. So your family department is one of the most challenging departments you will ever work on. But you must develop a policy and procedure for your family department. You've got to have a statement of work. You've got to have a flow process. You've got to have a work process. Because if you don't, your family will tear your entire business up. Waddell Consulting Services, okay? Relationships, mental, emotional, physical, friends, family will choke you out. Your family, y'all. I don't know what made me be dramatic with that. But your family will choke you out in love. They will choke you out in love, boo. They don't care. And they will do it with a smile on their face. Because, as the quote says, they don't know what you know. And that is okay. You got to be okay with people not knowing what you know. Number one, but you also got to be okay with educating them on the correct way to do business with Waddell Consulting Services. So, welcome to my business because I am a Chick-fil-A experience. I'm not a Walmart. We're not rolling back prices. I'm not self-checking out. I have things in stock. I'm not walking around with a gun slicer and cutting prices. Nope. No, my prices are what they are. This is what it takes. And because you are willing to pay the price of Waddell experience, I'm willing to give you exactly what you're asking for. Okay? So when it comes to family, y'all, we can always do it with respect and honor, even to our mamas. Because I'm a mama's girl. And it did not alleviate me from having mama problems. And it took years to work through them, honey. And sometimes, guess what? You can't work through your mama problems together with your mama. No, that's not fixing no work. You got to work through the mama problems all by yourself. And when you do that, you got to do it with the understanding, number one, that she gave you the foundation, or your father, okay? That they gave you the foundation that they gave you. And now it's your turn to take that foundation and build more on it. It's not to build the same house because you are not the same person. You can't build the same house your mother built. You can't build the same structure of life, religion, and relationships that your mother built. It's not yours. It will never fit. You will always be angry and frustrated and wonder why, but my mama do it. That's why you can't make your mama macaroni the way she make it. It ain't for you to do. It's time for you to build your own structure. Now, in building your own structure of your business, what you got to do two things. You got to be respectful, but you got to stand your ground, okay? You got to be respectful. You got to, especially, if you got a mama and she just mean well, but like Malcolm X, she don't know what you know, so you can't condemn her for that. So this is where it comes into the educational part of your business. That's why I said we got to have, you got to have your operations manual. You got to have a training day. So we're going to have a training day of Waddell Consulting Services. So we're going to go to the friends section, and I'm going to pull out the training manual for friends and family section. Now, under family section, y'all, in my real life, I work in the compliance department, and previously I was an operations manager. So when I tell you to put this stuff in writing, put it in writing. If nothing for you, I was giving away those 2 free notebooks yesterday so you can start writing out your small business plan of you. Okay, so we are re-educating our family on what it is. Okay, we're re-educating our family on what it is to be in the business of us. So your family can only love you to their faith level. That means they can only love you to where they have been in their experiences in their life. And don't accept, but don't go looking for more than. They have given you everything that they've given you because they love you. So they've given you everything they got. And everything they got may have taken you to here. And it's now up to you to build your structure the rest of the way yourself. And so you've got to re-educate them. So as you're growing, right, don't be arrogant in your growth. Leave tidbits along the way. So if perhaps they would like to grow with you or grow at their own pace, they have the information that you have left for them to do so. But sometimes your family are the very ones that may, as I say, chuck you out sometimes as you're trying to grow and be different. You're not meant to be the same. They have loved you to their faith level. It's now time for you to love yourself to your faith level. So as you're re-educating your family on what it means. So if I'm entire business, and this is Waddell Consulting Services, right? In the family department, I have a whole section on re-educating family on this is how this is going to work. It's done in all in love and respect and honor. But what I say, from this point, I cannot go and you cannot come. And it's all about re-education and explaining. But again, you got to go back to your mission and your vision statement of you. You got to understand what it is that you want to say first so that you can communicate it. So now you're not causing chaos and confusion. So in your friends and family departments, you need to work on that and look at those relationships and how they can be better, or how some relationships just really need to be left alone. You've done all you can do, and they've done all they can do. And you've got to be okay with that. All right. So number 7, your 7th department is your financial department. All right. So in a business, and this is the business of us, we've got to handle the finance part of us, okay? Because you're a whole small business. So you've got to handle the finance department. And I can tie all of this back up to every relation, mental, emotional, physical, family, friends department. All this can be tied together. Because if you have if financial has never been established or talked about, all of this is going to be affected. That's why I said, if all of your business of you was not working and it's on strike, it's on FMLA, leave of absence, it's done quit, it's on workers' comp because you ain't treating it right, then it's broke. And then you're wondering why it's not working. You've never addressed that department and you've never looked at it. So some of us have never taken a minute to look at the financial part of us. And that's just, and then look at when you have your financial conversation, look at the conversation you're having with your friends and family. If this is it, then you know you need to change your financial conversation. Girl, I'm broke. I ain't even got no gas money. I don't know what I'm going to feed these kids because I ain't got no money. Ain't none in this house because we ain't got no food. I ain't got no money because this job don't pay me nothing. I hate this job because it don't pay me nothing. My light bill passed due. Ooh, girl, I ain't got no money to pay this light bill. If that is part of your conversation and or your friends and family conversation, then you have not dealt with your financial department yet. Let me tell you how I dealt with my financial department. Is when I was doing my taxes for my business. And I had to print out my, look at my statements. And I had to break it down. And this was in 2017. Yeah, 2018. I realized I had spent $6,000 in the Dollar Tree and the Dollar Menu. Because when you say it's just $1, you don't pay that just $1 any attention. So I'm thinking I'm broke. No, I happily spent my $6,000 going through the Dollar Tree and going to McDonald's, Dollar Menu, Burger King, Dollar Menu, because those just dollars added up to $6,000 in 1 year. 1 year. So all those conversations where I ain't got no money, girl. I ain't even got gas money. Let me run to a Dollar Tree. $50 later. Let me run to the Dollar Menu at McDonald's. $10. Like, oh, it's just $1. Oh, you want that? Oh, it's just $1. Oh, Handle your financial department. When you handle your financial department, it alleviates some stress from your mental and emotional as well. Because if you haven't addressed that, it weighs on you. 77% of the illnesses in our body are from our thoughts. And if you're always thinking about money and it irritates and aggravates you, or if your family has always made money a problem or an issue, now you're trying to build your structure like that, it's not going to work. You're going to have the same problems. So I don't think that we have generational poverty. I don't think that. I think we have generational bad habits and generational bad thinking. That's what we have, because nobody has bothered to check out our financial department. Nobody stood up and said, stop, like, wait a minute, let me look at this point. That's why we have generational poverty. That's why we can have 3 and 4 generations of people living in the projects or living in the same community and having the same conversation. Which brings me back to prayer. If I'm saying the same prayer I was at 20, Lord, pay my light bill, and here I am 45 and I'm still having the same prayer, I for sure need to look at my financial department. I'm just saying, you asking the Lord for a miracle, but we have yet to handle the smallness of life. So how can you handle a miracle? And life itself is a miracle. And so if you can't handle the smallness of what you were given, you cannot handle the greatness of what you asked for. Sometimes it's not given to you. 1, because there's no room for you to receive it. Number 2, you're not structured properly. Your business of you is not structured properly for you to receive it. It's like going to the bank and asking for $1 million, and they look at your business plan of you. They're not going to give you $1 million because you ain't looked at your other departments yet. Same thing. Same thing applies. I know I break it down, trying to make it simple so that you can, but it's that simple, but yet we can make it that complicated. We can make it as complicated as that when it is really that simple. Guess what? When I didn't want to make $12.26 no more, guess what I did? I went out and found another job. Guess what? When I got tired of living in that house I was living in, I made more money so I could get. And let me tell you, these days folk ain't caring nothing about your education. They worried about your work history and what you can and cannot do. So education didn't even play a part in it. You get what you get because that's what you expect to get. You get what you get because that's what you expect to get. I expect abundance all the time. I have no lack. Period. That's what I expect to get. That's what I'm going to receive. And in the receiving part, I've got to make sure that my small business of me is ready to receive the influx of the business. Because if I get too much at one time, my business ain't stable, okay? I ain't worked on the mental, the emotional, physical, the financial, the friends and family department. So when I get a blessing, come on somebody, when you get a blessing and you haven't dealt with your friends and family department, oh, they're going to come and overtake this blessing here. Because you haven't set a policy and procedure in place. You haven't set a ground rule. And I'm not saying you've got to be mean in the process. I'm not saying you've got to be ugly in the process. I'm saying it has got to be in place in order for you, JoJo, to survive yourself. You cannot help your family. I can't help my sisters. I can't help my brothers. I can't help nobody if this is not stable. Now, once I have done the work to stabilize this, then you're able to give more. If it ain't stable, everybody falling. Everybody gonna fall down. Department number 8 is your health. And number 8 rests on all 7 departments because it affects all 7 departments, and all 7 departments affect your health. Period. If you're not willing, here's the thing, we think health is just so difficult. It's so difficult. Like my friends at work give me hell for what I eat. JoJo, what is that? No, we're not eating that. That's nasty. I would rather pay the money for the food than pay the money for the medicine, or lose a leg, or lose an arm. My father had diabetes. I'm not. And at some point in your mind, it has to click that says, let me handle this business. And here, I completely understand, because I went to the doctor last Monday, and he said, Miss Waddell, you have got to lose some weight. I said, I gained weight. Because you get caught up in the everyday of things. But if I'm running the small business of me, if I'm a small business, Waddell Consulting Services, right? Health has got to be part of my foundation, because I'm not going to be able to operate the business of me without it. So what did that mean? Yeah, I was eating right, but I wasn't exercising. So I had to put it, I called it the top of my mind, to say this is also part of the business. This is, if I'm going to be the small business of me, health has got to be the foundation. It's got to be one of the foundational things, because if it is not, then nothing else is going to operate correctly, because then your health is going to override it all. How many sick people we know that that's all they can think about is being sick? Popping pills. Oh, did I take my pill today? Oh, did I? I can't eat this because, I would rather take matters into my own hands and until, because I don't want somebody else telling me what I got to do. And y'all know I hate somebody telling me what to do. I ain't getting nothing else from my daddy. I learned I don't like nobody telling me what to do. And so we've got to take our health very seriously. And that is a department that you need to focus on. So on this wonderful Friday, we're talking about the small business of you. This is day 2. Day 1, we talked about relationships, your mental health, your emotional health, and your physical. These are all departments that you need to address, because if they quit at any point in time, you're going to have to work really hard to get it back up, and you're trying to run and life. So this is the small business of you, but you still got to work. If you work, you still got relationships. If you're married, you still got children. You still got all the things besides operating the small business of you. And I want you to understand, if the small business of you is not correct, you cannot receive anything else. You can't receive the love. You can't receive the blessing. You cannot help your children. You want to know why? Because they worried about you and your health, you and your financials, you and the business of you, and they can't concentrate on themselves. And so do you see how easily that sets it up for another generation of small business owners not operating correctly? Because here in the country, you say, well, her mama crazy. Well, her family crazy. Her family now, they ain't never been right. Am I the only one that's ever said that? Like in the country, that's how you talk about people. Well, she come from them so-and-sos, and they ain't never been right. They ain't never been, they always been a little off. Generations of small business owners operating incorrectly. You are a small business. You are leaving a legacy every single day. Every day you're leaving a legacy. Every time you open up your mouth, you are leaving a legacy for your children, and they're watching it. Every day. Every day. Whatever pops out your mouth, you're leaving a legacy. I don't care if you don't have no kids. Your mama watching. Your brother watching. Your daddy watching, because where's my quote? Somebody's waiting on me to move. They will not move until I move. Your mama waiting on you. She know, here's the thing. And let's go back to our quote, because this is going to tie in really good. Don't be in such a hurry to condemn a person because he doesn't do what you do or think as you think. There was a time when you didn't know what you know today. Malcolm X. So your mama has brought you as far as she can take you. Now, we are learning new and exciting things about life. We're learning to operate the small business of us, and we are excited. And we want to tell our mama now. You've got to feed that to them in bite-sized pieces, number 1. Number 2, your mother or your father know that they have done all that they can do possibly in their lifetime. And they feel kind of down about that. But they see you. They watch you do what you do. They watch you get up and you go to work. They watch you go to school. They watch you handle your career. They watched you do the things that they did. And at some point, your parent probably wants to say to you, please, don't be like your mama. Don't be like your daddy. Don't do that. But and we're talking about them and then us, their ego won't allow them to say it, number 1. Your ego should not allow them not to say it. That means in your growth process, you always have to make room for someone to come and ask you questions, okay? Don't be arrogant like I was in my growth process. Y'all remember that show when I told you I sent out that email to all my friends and some of my family? Like, if you not saying nothing positive, don't call me, don't email me. I ain't got nothing. Ooh, I had to eat that one. Don't be arrogant. Make it a safe place so as you grow, they have a welcoming and safe place inside of you to come and ask you questions about your growth, because they're watching. Your mother and your father have watched you establish what you have established and build on what they gave you. And it may spark a hope in them that regardless of age, I can do something different right now. Okay? So now you got to feed it to them in bite-sized pieces. Hey, Mom, you know, if you do so-and-so, and y'all, I'm a nerd. So I send articles. I may send a YouTube video. Hey, Mom, you know, your shoulder was hurting. I saw this stretch that's going to help you. Hey, Mom, you know, you was talking about this. Well, I read this. Look at this. What you think about this? And leave space to open up the conversation. Somebody's waiting for you to move, and they will not move until you move. Your mama and your daddy, your sister and your brother, they're waiting for you to establish your business of you. They're waiting for you to address all 8 departments of you so that they can come and ask a question, because they don't know. They don't know how to have a staff meeting with themselves. They don't know how to write out a mission statement and a vision statement and understand that parts of them are not working and on strike, which is relating to their bad health. I'm just saying, make it a safe place for them. Because if you don't make it a safe place for them, then I don't want you to grow in arrogance of what you're doing and what you have done. I want you to grow in, let me help my mother and my sister out. We don't want to be selfish in our growth process. We want to make sure that everybody is part of the process in their own way. In their own way. Because see, they're gonna watch you from afar build it, right? Somebody's gonna ask you a question. And when they ask you a question, don't be arrogant with the answer. Just simply share the information that you have. Make it a safe space for them. And as you make it a safe space for them, you're relieving something inside of you, okay? And then we are creating a new legacy, right? And we're stopping this generational thought process, because our behaviors are simply thoughts that we've had over and over and over again. And we develop a new belief system. So your mother and your father are watching you develop a new belief system. They're watching Waddell Consulting Services being built from the ground up and restructured. When we talked about taking ownership of you, they're watching you take. What's the song? I'm in love under new management. They're watching you recreate what it is that you are living and then walking that out. They are watching you. They are in awe. They respect you. Even if they cannot articulate that in the correct way. Because you got to know that some people are so used to complaining that they don't know how to compliment. They think complaining is a compliment. Like, Jojo, you doing too much. That's a compliment. Jojo, ain't nobody eating that. What is that? Ain't nobody eating that. Compliment, complaint. They get them mixed up because they're so used to it. And just know that I don't know if I shared the link to this, but I will. Because somebody's like, Jojo, is that real? It's harder for a person to stop complaining than it is to come off a drug. So if your friend and family is on drugs, it's easier for them to come off that drug than it is for your mama to stop complaining. Because every time somebody complains, every time someone starts to complain, it creates a chemical in their body. And the more you complain, the more that chemical is created, and the more your body begins to crave that. And every morning, that's how, let me tell you, if you're a complainer, let me tell you, every morning, if you haven't said your morning complaints, your body's like, wait a minute, something is wrong. It's missing the drug that you've been feeding it for years. It knows at 8:10 you're going to complain, at 9:20, at 9:45. It knows it. And so you've been feeding in that drug of complaint because it truly creates a chemical inside of your body. And you've been feeding it for so long. How dare you take the drug away? That's when you're changing your thought process. That's why sometimes it's hard when you are wanting to build a business of you and you're trying to take ownership and you're trying to do all of these things. Like, JoJo, it's just so much I can't wrap my hand around it. Number one, you got to be quiet, okay? That's always the first step. But it's just so much. And then you'll say, you know what, it's just too much. I'm not even going to do anything. I'm not going to touch it. I'm just not. What you have to do is you got to start replacing the negative with the positive until the positive overtakes the negative. And you've got to be intentional. Your actions have got to be intentional. Your thoughts have got to be intentional. You've got to want this. I can't want it for you. Now, I've wanted things badly for people and darn near cried because they didn't do what I thought was right for them because I wanted it so bad for them. It wasn't my place, nor was it my time because they couldn't receive it. So, complaining is hard work. Changing is hard work. That's why you got to be committed. You can't just be interested. It can't be exciting. I don't want to motivate you. I don't want to inspire you. I want you to be committed to make a difference because you don't like what's happening now. And because you don't like what's happening, you are committed to changing that. Your circumstances are valid. Your excuses are valid. They're not going anywhere. Yep, you're a single mother. Yeah, your husband ain't about nothing. Yeah, he get on your nerves. Yes, you hate your job. Yes, you hate where you live. Yes, you don't have any money. Yes, you need a new job. All of that is valid. It doesn't matter if you want to change. Because what happens is if I'm focused that my destiny's not changing, what I want is not changing, I don't care what I run up against because my focus is here. And when you become determined to that point, my sister, and you learn to work through it, the journey becomes a little easier. That is why the small business of you is so essential. That's why you got to look at yourself, and whether you're a solopreneur, you incorporated, whether you're a partnership, whether you're a LLC, limited liability, whatever you call yourself, you've got to be intentional with the business structure of you, the building of you. And if you want to stick religion in there, if you want to make it 10, you can stick religion in there. What else we got? And I think religion and spirituality are two totally different things, but that's a conversation for a whole nother day. But you need to stick your religion in there. So now you got whole 9 departments. Take one at a time. Look at them. Think about it. Write it out. Be intentional about it. You want all of your departments to be on payroll so everybody's getting paid so that you're a well-oiled machine. Now, I'm not saying that once you set up this business, there's not going to be a glitch or a problem. Yeah. But now that you have systems in place, now that we know how to live past crazy, now that we have the 5 steps to get past crazy, now that we have the blueprint to live past it, now that we have the structure in place and we know what to do so that when crazy introduces itself, we be like, oh, let me go to section 2.5.0 and remember how I dealt with this. And then you can. Because now you're more confident in it. Because you don't know why. You've taken ownership of yourself. I think that was my favorite show, Taking Ownership of Yourself. And I love the quote that went with it. Freeing yourself is one thing. Claiming ownership of that freed self is another. So on this wonderful, absolutely wonderful Friday, hope everybody has an amazing weekend. Please make sure you share the show because sharing is caring. If your friends and family don't have Facebook, send them over to the YouTube channel. They can binge watch all the Fearless Morning shows over there. And if this has helped you, please let me know so I know that I'm not talking to myself and that the small business of you made sense. It made sense to me. I just hope it made sense to somebody else. And just know, if a department quits on you, if your department is on FMLA or leave of absence, right? No other department can do their job until that other department is up and running. All departments have got to work together in harmony. Okay? And if one goes out, it makes the job harder for everybody else. For all parts of you. So, guys, I hope you have an amazing weekend. Don't forget, I will be in Orangeburg, South Carolina for the Leadership Conference. Please make sure you join me. bit.ly free book, JoJo's free book. If you buy your ticket, I will give you a free book when you get there. Thank you, Kiva. I'm glad it made perfect sense in my mind, because I ain't even gonna apologize. I think different than most folk. So you are a small business. If you would like for me to show them to you again, I will take a snapshot of my notes that I made and post it, because you're a small business. I want you to take that very seriously. You're a small business, okay? It ain't nothing to play with. You ain't nothing to play with. Take ownership of yourself. And when you do that, my friend, my sister, I'm telling you, you start operating in a way that you never would have imagined that you could operate. Blessings start coming in a way that you couldn't even begin to comprehend, like you didn't even think to even ask or comprehend that that's what you wanted. But because the small business of you was running so well, because you are Chick-fil-A, baby, you're not a Walmart. You're not rolling back prices. And everything ain't discounted. You're giving what you're expecting, and you're expecting what you're giving. And be okay with that. So in taking ownership of yourself, feel it for a little while. Remember I said rest in that? You need to rest in that, and then you can walk it out. Resting in it is building the small business of you. Resting in it is setting up your departments and your work processes and your policies and procedures. And not apologizing for getting better. We're not doing that. We're not apologizing because we're setting up this business. We not. Nope, we're not doing that. All right, guys, I hope you have an amazing Friday. And I'm thinking about doing like a Saturday edition where we just do a recap of the week on Saturday. It'll be a much shorter show. We just do a recap on Saturday for those who can't catch the morning show. What y'all think about that? Y'all think that is a good idea? Like just maybe do a 15-minute show, a recap of the week for those who can't catch the show. So, all right, guys, let me know if you like that idea, and I will start working on it. All right, guys, have an amazing Friday. Please be peaceful, period. There's nothing after this. And I'll see you guys here bright and early. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe we'll do a life in a day of the Live Past Crazy Specialist tomorrow, because it's gonna be an interesting day. All right, guys, have a good one, and I'll see you here bright and early on Monday morning. Have a good one.
Thank you again for listening to the Live Past Crazy Show with Yonmitra JoJo. She is the only Live Past Crazy specialist, and she is glad you spent your time with her. If you would like to know more about why she knows crazy and about her journey, she invites you to check out her website, www.livepastcrazy.com, as well as follow her on social media. Yonmitra is her tag for IG, Twitter, and Facebook, JANMETRA. She also invites you to join her on the Fearless Morning Show, weekdays at 7:15 a.m. on Facebook Live. Again, you can find us on Facebook with the Fearless Morning Show page or by name. Remember, as a result of working with the only Live Past Crazy specialists, individuals are able to identify the crazy in their lives and develop a specific blueprint to begin to live past crazy. Do you know anybody who needs to live past crazy? Then send them over her way, because there is life after crazy. Be peaceful, period. And Yonmitra will see you guys on the next show.